Hi, my name is Brianne Connizzo. I'm an assistant professor in Biomedical and Mechanical Engineering at Boston University. So I completed my bachelor's degree in engineering science at Smith College in 2010. I then continued on to do my doctoral studies at PhD in bioengineering at the University of Pennsylvania, and then did a postdoc at Massachusetts Institute of Technology, or MIT, and then started my faculty position in 2021. My lab is interested in the process of tissue maintenance and specifically the balance of extracellular matrix remodeling. Just like your homes and your cars, all of your tissues need daily maintenance. And every day we subject our bodies to all sorts of different mechanical and biochemical stimuli, and our tissues have this miraculous capacity to adapt. So we're working to develop different models to study how this adaptation happens, and of course, what happens when it doesn't work just correctly and leads to disease or injury. Just like a lot of others in this community, I really thought I was going to be a star athlete in high school until I had a total knee blowout where I tore almost everything inside my knee. I remember sitting in the orthopedic surgeon's office, and he told me that this would be forever, a lifelong struggle, and that I'd probably be at risk of osteoarthritis at a pretty early age. And I remember thinking at the time, well, I'm sure they'll have solutions by then. But here we are 20 years later, and not so much yet. And so then when I got to Smith College and I found out that one of my teammates on the volleyball team was working in ACL mechanics, I sort of thought that's what I want to do. That's where I've been ever since. So I think mentorship comes in lots of different forms. And so I think this is sort of a loaded question because to list all of the mentors you've ever had would be sort of challenging. But obviously I'm forever indebted to my advisors, my academic advisors. So I had Brianne Connizzo at Smith College, who sort of introduced me to tendon biomechanics and encouraged me to do a PhD. And then I had Lou Zaslowski at Penn, who taught me really what it means to do rigorous science and how to be a thoughtful and dedicated mentor. And then, of course, my postdoctoral mentor, Al Grzinski, who is just a ball of smiles all the time, encouraged me to really pursue interdisciplinary research. And is always an endless fountain of support. And I also really wouldn't be here without the help of all my peer and near peer mentors. So I'm the chair of the ORS Junior Faculty Network. And so we've sort of created this really nice community of young faculty investigators. And while this career is sort of filled with rejection and stress, navigating it along with some of the greatest friends is truly a gift. We're a new lab. We've been open for about 4 years, but we're really at a juncture in the lab where we're sort of chasing down all sorts of different questions. And it's really exciting to see some of my students start to take the lead and drive some of the directions we go in. Some of the questions we're really most interested in center around the age and sex-dependent programming of tissue maintenance and how these really tightly controlled pathways are dependent on very specific genetic and environmental factors. We're also starting to use some more big data approaches now to understand intricacies in crosstalk between different tissues within the joint, but also within cell types within a tissue, which is overwhelming and very challenging as it's not really my field yet. But it's also, I think, very promising for trying to make some connections between the different parts of the joint and understand bigger picture questions. Anyone who's ever competed with me, shout out to Gordon's conference softball team, could tell you that I'm a very competitive person and I take every loss, no matter how big or small, pretty hard. And this tends to translate into my personal life and my professional life. So I work a lot on managing my expectations as an academic and also as a mom of 2 young toddlers. And I think it's really challenging to try and find the balance between those identities, and that's my current work. I've been going to the ORS meeting for the past 12 years, which, wow. And I think I do owe a lot of my success to the people I've met through the ORS. So I was on the ambassadors program for a long time, for about 6 years, and I've been on the tendon section committee for about 8 years now. And now I'm starting to serve on the Women's Leadership Forum. And so through this process, I've really enjoyed getting to know people from all different disciplines, all different backgrounds, and then working together to just try to make the ORS a better place. I really think it's important that we step outside of our comfort zones and work with each other, both scientifically, right? We don't want to stay in our tissue silos, but also in terms of making this a more inclusive and welcoming community. My mantra for the past couple of years since starting a new lab is the only way forward is through. There's been a lot of challenges, and you'll always encounter a lot of challenges along the way, whether you're a grad student, postdoc, faculty, even senior. How you handle those challenges and how you get past those challenges, I think, will really be the best dictation of your success and ultimately your happiness. So, find your people, the people that'll support you, care about you, advocate for you. Ask for help when you need it, and don't be afraid to ask for help, and just keep moving forward. I think it's always nice to be recognized by your research community for your contributions, especially so early on in your career. And I hope that this award, of course, shines a light on me and my lab, but also, we have to remember that this award is for a specific paper. And so I'm hoping that this brings a little bit more visibility to the students that dedicated their time and effort to making the lab successful and putting this work out. So I think it's, extra motivation to continue with our work, and more importantly, extra motivation to keep sharing it with JOR and the orthopedic community. The advice for applying to this award is the same as any other award, and my lab will probably roll their eyes at this because I say this all the time, but you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, right? So put yourself out there, try to reach for opportunities, and you'll be rewarded with some and you'll miss some, but if you don't try, you'll never get it. So I love spending time outside with my family. We do a lot of biking, swimming, camping, hiking, etc. But my happy place is still team sports. So right now it's slow pitch softball, but indoor volleyball season is just around the corner. I also really like gardening, crafting of all things, event planning, and traveling quite a bit. For my birthday this year, my oldest son wanted to get me a gift, and he and my husband worked together, and they decided to buy me this little yellow die-cast van because my son loves cars and he knows my favorite color is yellow. And so I just see this on my desk and it brings a smile on my face every day. Just love this little thing.